Before we start working with that, I think it's much better if we reduce the font size of our heading secondaries when we hit some 500 pixels. That should be easy to perform. We go here to typography, where we have our heading secondary. So we simply say add include responsiveness pixel to em some 500. What we're gonna have is the font size. I've tried it out and so that 3.3 rem is enough for that. Next, let's see what we have here. When we are reducing in our section, you can see that now we don't have padding right here. I'm going to increase this, put full screen. Not properly that, but increase more. I'm going to increase, take this to the bottom. It's going to be better. When we reduce, we don't have padding right here in our section, so it's mandatory that we add that. So let's find the perfect place for us to add. Okay, here we have a good padding. We can even add right here in this breakpoint 1250. So let's go to our home, in our pages, in this section in demand, we simply say add include responsiveness pixel to em 1250 pixels. I'm going to override the padding. Top I'm going to leave right. I'm going to put 6 rem, down 4 rem, and left 4 rem, 6 rem again. The same on horizontal, but change to the bottom. Let me save and see. Now it's much better. Yes, if we keep this padding, now it's okay. We have to put these cards just being shown to at a certain moment, because for me it's not okay to see 3 of them. So let's see where we have to break this. Okay, even here in some 900 we could break. Our idea is to make them appear like these ones, 2 and the last one of the same row. Here we have to change what is the definition of our width for what is column 1 of 3. Instead of being the same that we have for our card is defined in our grid, for this particular element card, when we use the class column 1 of 3, its width is equal to this one. But we have to make it be with the same width of column 1 of 3. We're not going to put the responsive design content right here in our grid, because we don't want to change it to every single place that we use these classes in our project. We simply want to change it specifically for this card. So be aware of that, please. And it's sometimes a big mistake that people make. It's inside of our card here. We're going to select what is class, starting with what is equal to class column 1 of 3. What we're going to do is to say include responsiveness pixel to em. We say that we want to change it 900. Yeah, we have to put this parenthesis. What are we going to do is to change its width to be the same as this one of column 1 of 2. Then I can go here, paste. Very good. Let me save and see how it's going to behave right now. 900 F5. Okay, this should give me some results because the width is not the same. We're inside of the cards. This is actually not a card, but it's what's inside of a row, and the class is this one. here we have the width is cool, but things are not being displayed properly here because we have to know that we still have the margins that we gave, so we have to still work here. After we define this width, we can simply remove the margin to the right of the second one, because when we defined our grid here, we were working with the margin right, not defined just to the last element. That's what we have here, and not last child. But this time, this second element is not the last child. That's why it still have margin to the right. I want to find the second element, so we have to use env of type here. I don't know if you have already seen this, but I think you have. I can simply put here 2, and this is going to figure out for me all that is odd or even. It's even because 2 times a positive number is always even, so the second one is an even. I'm going to put a margin to the right of 0, save, go to my main, save again, and see if this is gonna work. Now it's much better. Okay, I'm going to actually give a margin to the bottom right here. Also here we can see that things are happening, and this margin to the bottom is going to be for all except to the last one, so the last child. I'm going to give a margin to the bottom of some 2 rems. You have to simply try something that you think it's gonna be working here. And yes, we have this margin to the bottom. Now you can see the height is not okay, but we are working until this stage slowly. So right now what we can do is at this breakpoint, which is this one, let's simply copy this and just increase the height here in 900 pixels just for the overall card height and not for side, because we want to work with all the card height. And I'm going to try with some 2 rems. So let's put some 62 rems and see if this is gonna look okay for 900 pixels. Did I save the main file? Okay, I can see changes here. Let me go back. At this stage you should know why we don't have. Remember that we gave the same height here in the card and also in the side, so make sure that also give here in your side 62 rems. Save and see what it looks like. It's still refreshing. Okay, the height has increased. Let me inspect again. Here we have 62 rems. Let me actually put some 63. Okay, it can be 63, but I'm going to put just half of 1 rem here, 62.5 and 62.5. Nice. Let's go back. We have to take care of this last element here that we have without being displayed correctly, and it's going to give us much work, because here we must make sure that it's occupying width of 100%. The height is going to differ. We're going to have some shadows. Then this is going to change the way of being displayed, because we want to put a grid, because our idea is to have it equal to this one. Let's make all the transformation happen. This time you're going to be working with your logic right here. I'm not going to leave you alone. I simply want to copy that selector and remove what is defined here. And yes, this is pixel to 900. Let's make sure that this is the last child, because we want to target this one. The first thing is to set its width to 100%, save and check. It's it's updating. Very good, but that's not how we want. And this is happening how it should be. Then we have to change the way that this is displaying the things, because the sides front have a display with a different template column that we are going to be applying right now. So let's select our card. I have chosen this height for it because I saw it was okay. Then we have to figure out the side. All the sides are going to also have a height of 32 rems. Next, let's start with that box shadow. Start formatting what's around to rem, for rem, and I'm going to put some RGBA. The color is gonna be black. The opacity, now I want 0.5. Let me put some 0.5 right here. Save. You can actually see how it behaves. Now you have the shadow, okay? You can see that your element is here. Let's go back and continue to format. I have my front part here, which is this one. I want to make sure that this front part is gonna have a display of grid. Then on this grid, I'm going to separate, put 60% of the content for this and 40% for the content to the next thing, so that I don't have that image taking all the space that I can see it's taking right now. So let me put on the front side. I'm going to have a display of grid, then grid template columns, starting with 60% for the first part, 40% for the rest. I'm going to make sure that my image box's width is 100%. The image box that contains my div of the logo box and the content, which is the image of the cars. So let's simply say here image box. I'm going to set its width to 100%. Save and see what do we have right now. It's becoming better and better and better. Okay. Next, what I'm going to make sure is that it doesn't have the background, the clip path, because here we still have the clip path, but we can't see it. But I'm going to remove the clip path right here. So clip path, set it to none, and margin to the bottom of 0. Because this definition of image boxes and much stuff, we are really taking from these parts. So you can easily copy and figure out what you are going to keep and not keep, and simply put there. I'm going to take my image at this time, make sure that its width is 100%, height is 100%, and the object feed is set to cover. Let's go and check that on our third element, which is this. Save. See. Okay, it's here. So with this width and height, it's properly positioned, and you can see. You won't see all the card as you may want to see, I don't know, because we have a specific width and a height. What our responsive design is making here is to ensure that with this width and height, I'm going to display the card without losing its aspect ratio, and that's cool for us. Let's go to our backside and start to format what's there. Let's simply put here our back main, and we're going to figure out what's our text to write. Let's simply come here, click, and we're going to remove the margin to the bottom. Let's set it to 0, And the price, we're going to set just the margin to the bottom of some 1 rem and see how it looks like. Margin to the bottom of 1 rem, I'm going to say, and here go and check, click here. When you click, it seems like a hover, because in our touch devices we don't have the hover, we simply have to click it in order to see. But if you simply remove this and keep reducing, okay, you're gonna see that happening in hover, but that's not what I want right now. But I'm teaching you. Nice. Next, let's continue to reduce and see what we have as we reduce. Okay, I think now this is becoming uncomfortable, so I'm going to choose my new breakpoint, which is this of okay, when we reduce, the font size decreases, but in this interval it's becoming not comfortable, so I'm going to change the things here at 900 not, it's 600. Put it back to 50 rem and make sure that we only have 1 column here. To make that happen, we have to simply set the width to 100%. So let me come here in my column 1 of 3, and after this say the same. I will simply copy this, paste here, put 600 and change the width 100%. We have to actually remove the margin to the right, put to 0, and let's say it's important because we will override, it doesn't really matter what happens. Let's see now. Okay, much better. Then we have to increase the height back to 50 rem, because now our height is, let me go and see with you, let me go down. Our height right now is 62.5 rem, because 600 pixels is less than 900 pixels. Now we have to put that new height back. So let's come here and say, so you must make sure that you start with the highest, then the lowest, otherwise it won't work. And let's put 71 here, and also here 71 rem, save, and see if this is gonna change for us automatically. Yes, it changed it. Now this height is much better. If you wanna change this, it's up to you. Here in this, we must make sure that we simply see the car and not the rest of the content, right? We don't want to have this description. We're simply going to see the car, and when we hover, we're going to see the price. That's the idea of this design. So let's go here in our last child. After this, make sure that we also add the style. I'm waiting for you. You can start writing, but if you don't want to write, let's write together. Let include responsiveness. We know that it's pixel, so en, and here we have 600. In this 600, we're gonna make sure that we select our card, just to make that grid template occupy 100% and don't have the description, and making sure that the height is also going to be 50 rem. You can forget that. What's in our side, we're gonna put the height also to 50 rem, and let's put what's in our front, grid template column to 100%, and put what is the description, so don't be visible. So you know display is gonna be none. Let's save, and this should fix our problem. Yes, that's it. Please practice CSS. Responsiveness is a topic that people are afraid of, but with practice you easily master that. You simply have to know the style that you wanna target and just customize it.